Okay, y'all, it's Shaniqua Speaks. We're back at it. We're talking about lessons I learned from loving the wrong man. Loving the wrong man has built me up, or men being in bad relationships has built me up in such a way. They have, and let me be clear about this. Abuse is not okay. Somebody putting their hands on you, being emotionally, physically, and mentally abusive, financially abusive, none of those things are okay. But what I am telling you, in true godly principle, all things work together for the good of them who love God and are called according to his purposes. I took my free will to make decisions that I thought were good for me at the time, but ended up not being good for me at the time and not giving me what I thought I would get from it. But God used those things to benefit me, to build me up, to make me better. Again, I would never be the person to say that God led me into those situations. No, I have free will. If it was anything he would force me into, he would force me into salvation. And God is not a bully. He don't he don't want nobody that don't want him. I know that might be hard to accept, but he's not a bully. So, all things work together. So I see those things today. I see these relationships that I went through today as positive experiences for me because I learned so much about myself. I grew and I was better. There are also things that I can use to share, to build my daughters up, to help my daughters navigate through life, and anybody else that desires. I now have some equipment that's going to help somebody else in their life get to where they want to be. Okay, so here is the next lesson that I learned that was invaluable to me. Now, listen, don't fight me in the comments, okay? Because I learned this lesson. I want to challenge you to tell you that you learned this lesson too, or I want to present this argument to you too. Here we go. People don't deceive you, you deceive yourself. People don't deceive you, you deceive yourself. Now we're going to sit with that for a minute because that's a lot to take in. Okay, so every single time I was in a relationship that would end up being something that was hurtful or something that was not good for me, I always knew that the person was a joker. Always. It was never a secret. God will never let me be deceived. It was always me who deceived myself. You know what that meant? I didn't listen to that inward witness. Not to be all churchy and stuff, right? But there is a voice. There is something on the inside of you that speaks to you and lets you know, like, hey, something's off about that. Hey, what's going on with that? Hey, 1 + 1 is not 3. I was never in a situation where I did not know. Let me tell you what I did. Each time, right? Each time I allowed myself to be deceived or I deceived myself, number one, I stopped listening to that inward witness that I have inside of me that will lead and guide me into all truth. I deceived myself. I did not value the voice that's in myself. That's hurtful because then you have to do the work of forgiving yourself for not trusting yourself. I ultimately trusted somebody who did not demonstrate that they were trustworthy. Okay. I ended up not paying attention to what was standing right in front of me, or I chose to take a risk. I chose to take a risk. And guess what? When you take a risk, it's either going to be a positive outcome or a negative outcome. In a lot of the cases, I got the negative outcome. But that comes with taking risk. Let me tell you a secret. Even in positive, healthy relationships, love hurts. Let me tell you why love hurts. Because love shapes you. You don't shape it. Every day, I have to choose to be in love with my husband. Every day I have to choose. And let me tell you something. I don't always get it right. Right? Like, I don't think that I've mastered anything. I'm not sitting here, as a woman who's been married 20 whatever times. I'm just telling you, for the little bit of time, the long little bit of time, that's what me and Damon say, for the long little bit of time that I've been in this relationship, I have noticed that is a lot. It's a lot of me changing and shaping myself, right, for the relationship, because the two become one. That means we become something that never existed before. Now, here's the thing about us as women. By nature, we are people that we don't create, but we are used to sacrificing, right? You give us a house, which is kind of like the bare minimum, the raw material, we make it a home. You give us a seed, after 9 months, labor, your body stretching, all of these changes that you go through in order to produce something, you always have an outcome or something higher than yourself. You have a child. You want a cake, you give me eggs, butter, sugar, milk. Okay. I do what I got to do. There's a labor of love involved in that process. Okay. I give you a cake. I give you dessert. So in some ways, in some fashions, we are used to not having or being responsible for creating the outcomes and being involved in a labor of love that causes us oftentimes to endure abuse or be in situations for a prolonged period of time waiting for an outcome that's never going to produce. If this person is a liar, that person is a liar. And guess what? It's okay to accept them as a liar. But what you should never do is assume or try to imply or try to, act as if this person is deceiving you. This lie then flipped itself 20 different times. That person's not crazy. No, they're just a liar. And you accept them as that, but don't make it be where you're deceived. No, in this situation, you're taking a risk. Taking risks is not bad. You just can't cry wolf, or you should not cry wolf when you don't get the outcome that you're looking for. There's a scripture in the Bible that says, oh gosh, it talks about women being silly and allowing themselves to be kind of like hoodwinked, or allowing themselves to be led all over the place because, they're allowing themselves to be silly. Let me tell you a secret. First of all, there's a God nature on the inside of you. There's nothing about you that's silly. Meaning, I lack intelligence. I lack the will and the wisdom to make a solid decision. I'm not, because I'm a woman. The one thing that grinds my gears and tears me up is when we as women, we're demure and all these things that we are, which I love being a woman, right? I love being a woman. People are fighting that will never get to be a woman to be a woman because it is dope. I don't care what society tells you. I love being a woman, right? But being a woman there's not an absence of intelligence because I'm a woman. So I don't buy into the narrative that I'm silly and that I can't apply logic. If this person has lied to me over and over again, this person is just a liar. And I have to decide, if I want the liar. I'm the one thing I should never do is take this liar and make them try to be somebody that tells the truth. Again, guess what? I become the manipulator. I become manipulative because this person wants to be a liar, and that's okay. I don't get to make them a person that tells the truth. I just don't. People never deceive you. You deceive yourself. I made choices, hoping, wishing, praying that the choices that I made would end up being the long-lasting love that I desired on the inside of me, right? But that wasn't the outcome. That wasn't what happened. Oftentimes I played stupid games and I got stupid prizes. I got the outcome of what I took a risk on, right? I showed up in the relationship from a place of deficit, meaning, I didn't come with the 20. I came, I didn't come as the 80. I came with the deficit. I came as the 20. So that's all I got. That's all I got. I wanted to protect her. Okay, I got somebody that protected. I didn't get anything else. I got protected because that's what I was looking for. People don't deceive you. You deceive yourself. So let's talk about that in the comments. Women are powerful. Women are strong. Women are amazing. We are amazing. And let me tell you why we are amazing. Not because we have a vagina and breast. That's a part of a suit that I live in the earth. I am amazing because of the God nature that lives on the inside of me. And the things that this earth suit allows me to do and be and participate in. That's an amazing thing. That is an amazing thing. So I'm not a silly woman. I'm not somebody who I thank God for, some of the movements that happen where people finally got what they were looking for, some of the social justice things. But let me tell you this, there's always a little boy crying wolf. All right, I'm gonna get in trouble, but listen, here it is. Bill Cosby only played a doctor on TV. Okay? So if he hands you a pill and it's after hours and, it's not because y'all getting ready to play Cosby Show. If a man calls me up, okay, at 2:00 and he want to come over to my house and have Bible study, I don't think it's godly hands he want to lay. Right? And I would be deceiving myself if I acted like that was what was going to happen. So I say all that to say, not all justice is justice. I don't expect anything from anybody that I ultimately deceived myself to allow this person to deceive me. I don't expect anything from you. I expect everything from myself. I expect myself to have grown from that experience and listen, pay attention. What is your heart and your mind telling you about this situation? Listen, if you really that, why wouldn't you listen to that inward witness? If I'm not going to stand for me, why would somebody else? Just wondering. Just want to put that out there. So listen, let's talk about this in the comments. Do me a favor. If this is something that you think is going to help somebody, share it with them. Follow me on all my social media platforms and let's keep this conversation going, okay? All right. Love y'all. Bye.